Welcome back to another Friday night edition of the 11.7 podcast. Today is going to be a fun day, but first we want to talk a little bit about our social media game. If you guys aren't aware, we are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube now, where we just uploaded a brand new interview for for this episode. We're going to blend it into the end of it. But it was with Casey Dykes, volunteer assistant coach for the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, man, we are growing on every platform.
Literally every platform I think everything except for Vine. And the only reason why we're not on Vine is because that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I think we're gonna post on MySpace next, and who knows? But dude, I'm excited. We were able to put up our first full-length podcast officially on YouTube. That was episode 33. You guys should definitely check that out. And also continued, if you enjoy what we're talking about, or if you'd like to give us some feedback, maybe you don't follow us on Twitter. Maybe you've only ever listened to our podcast, which is fine. We love hearing feedback. So if you'd like to subscribe to our podcast, leave a rating and maybe some constructive criticism. If you'd like, we'd love to hear from you guys on our podcast as well. So we're all over the place, man. It's crazy.
And tell your friends about it. It is officially like the heart of college baseball season, moving towards the absolute electricity factor of playoff college baseball between conference tournaments and regional, super regionals, College World Series. We'll be covering all of that stuff exclusively. So tell your friends about it. We are going to be the number one place for college baseball news, insight, sources, all that stuff. And we have a lot of fun things planned for you later on this year. So tell your friends about us. We're still the number one college baseball podcast. That's how we came into existence. And we just found that we started growing on all social media platforms. We do our own original content, especially on Instagram. If you guys like, original pictures with unique edits and that kind of stuff, our boy Dimitri is on top of all that. We got to give him a lot of credit for it. He's been killing the Instagram game.
And our username everywhere. Every platform is 11.7.
That's right.
11, and the point is spelled out POINT 7. And so we're hoping to get some interaction from you guys. We always like hearing from you.
And we have been. We've been getting a ton. So we want to add to that. But James, let's preview the show a little bit. We have, like I said, at the end of the episode, we're going to put in a really cool interview we had with a volunteer assistant coach who kind of went viral the day that the third paid assistant vote got denied by the NCAA.
Yeah,
he's been really big on social media. Old assistant coach of VMI, now the volunteer assistant coach at Indiana University, and as far as we know, like one of the most likable guys in college baseball. Like, I was approached by the Mercer baseball coaches, 2 days ago, and they said they heard about the interview with Casey Dykes, and they're like, yeah, he was like one of our favorite coaches in the SoCon when he was at VMI. Like, really nice guy. Oh yeah, dude, they knew everything about him. So highly respected in the game. Had some really unique points on why he thought it should have been passed, but he's not going to let that stop him from pursuing the career in college baseball. And at the end of the day, he was just a really chill dude to be around. Like, we just kicked back, talked college baseball. He was really enthusiastic, and I thought he was a good interview. So you guys that'll be at the end of the episode. You guys really enjoy that. And
I want to add as well, if I was a high school recruit around the country or a JUCO guy, and I'm looking for a nice school to go to, a school that is well-funded and also supports baseball, Indiana's a place to be. Yeah. Their athletic director was supporting the third paid assistant. They understand the benefits to the coaches and the athletes, and they want baseball to move forward. It's a good place to go to school, Ben.
Really good place. And the cool thing about Indiana is not only are they successful now, they've been successful the last decade or so. You have Major League Baseball players like Kyle Schwarber, Sam Travis, and then the whole coaching staff at Arizona State right now, who's nationally ranked. They came from Indiana, so it's a good place to be. We have a lot of Indiana followers on this podcast. I think one of our original. The IU baseball Twitter page was one of our first followers.
One of our OGs, baby.
Yeah, and we love those guys. So we're gonna do that at the end of the episode. But before all that, we're gonna recap some scores from tonight. A lot of college baseball action that was a little surprising to me. Like Mississippi State just putting an absolute beat down on Georgia today. I thought Georgia would be a little bit more competitive than that, but Mississippi State was kind of getting disrespected around the SEC the last couple of weeks. They felt the need to announce their presence with authority, some shall say. and we'll talk about all that. We'll also do our little personality segments for the Would You Rather. We might even talk a little about what's been going on in our Twitter game with people trying to troll us, and they don't realize that we make the rules. So we've had to block a few people, but it's not our choice.
I know we're moving on, but when you engage with 5,000 people, you're gonna have about 10 knuckleheads. So it is what it is. Continue. We'll go on.
We handle the knuckleheads, I think, better than anybody else. We just we've kind of played with them for a while.
I think we have the most fun with it than anyone else.
Yeah, like adding a couple like sirs in there, like, what would you like to do, sir? Like, how would you change this? We had a couple guys that just refused to acknowledge the mid-major polls. They were like trying to tell us that we need to accept mid-majors based off of what was it? Annual budgets for their athletic departments. And I'm like, dude, if we broke down all 300 Division I budgets, like, it would take a year. Like, we're gonna do it off conferences, black and white, buddy, like cut and dry.
Yeah, because to defend ourselves within conferences, teams vary greatly in their budgets as well.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. Like, he wanted us to take like Texas State and Liberty and move them to mid-majors because, I don't know, like Tulane had a bigger athletic budget. And I'm like, dude, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do it, go ahead. We're not going to stop you.
Yeah, no, we do have Liberty as a mid-major because they're in a mid-major conference, but Texas State and the
I got that all mixed up, but that guy was just a knucklehead. But we had fun with him. I don't even think we ended up blocking him. We just kind of felt bad for him a little bit. That's my cat opening the door over there. I don't know how she does that.
Dude, she's got thumbs, bro.
She's got more than just thumbs. She's got an evil brain. That's what it is. James, let's dive into some scores from today. I know that there was a lot of top 25 matchups that intrigued me, I guess. But before we go into scores, I'm just going to throw out the fact that the Mercer Bears won their 7th straight. And so conference win over ETSU, comeback win. Shout out to Mercer. I officially suspended myself from attending Mercer baseball games until they lose, because the last game that I went to was their last loss, and they've won 7 since. 7 in a row.
They're hot.
They're hot.
Dude, maybe Mercer's the Mercer mojo is changing. The last couple years, the Mercer Bears have been running. You guys have been running through everybody, and then conference tourney time just can't quite get into the dance. I think it's changing. I think we're gonna sneak in, and then all of us, bam! We're gonna win the tournament.
Exactly. A little different this time. So
I hope so. But there's another. Speaking of expelling, what are we gonna do about Ole Miss? They just pounded the Aggies tonight. Or there's genuinely gonna be like a borderline top 10 team in the country, not in our rank. I love it.
Who are we talking about?
Ole Miss. They beat A&M last night.
Who? I don't know who you're talking about. I'm not going to acknowledge them. They're expelled, James.
The North Alabama Jaguars.
I'll put a little sugar on this. If the Rebels of Ole Miss win the SEC, like the regular season or the tournament,
then we'll rank them.
We will rank them. But until then, not happening.
So fair warning. I don't care. We don't care if they win. If they win Oakland A style, win like 18 in a row.
Something straight.
Ain't happening.
They could win the College World Series and not win the SEC. We're not ranking them.
Yeah. Stipulation number 1.
Yeah.
And the ban will be taken away by the end of the season. Like when the season concludes.
Yeah.
They will be out of purgatory.
Yeah. Dude, we're getting a lot of engagements like supporting us for expelling Ole Miss. Like, obviously the Ole Miss fans, I think they kind of know it's a joke and they're just like, aha, like whatever, you guys are funny, like whatever. But like there's like real people, like LSU fans, Mississippi State fans, Arkansas fans that are just like #ban Ole Miss, #expelled. Like it makes me so happy.
Dude, people are rowdy. People are rowdy for their college baseball. I mean, we definitely experienced it at some of the big places we went. Like the rowdiness of some fans, like, bro, I don't know you. Like, why are you giving me crap? I had some dude at East Carolina. I had something in East Carolina that told me that my hair was the only thing I had going for me because we were down like 6 runs and all. Like, it was just some rowdy fans is translating into the Twitterverse with the banning. I love it. But let's hit those scores.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to start or finish with this Louisville Alabama A&M score? Because we're
just gonna rip this Band-Aid off.
It is a treat.
Yeah.
So Alabama A&M rolls into Louisville for a weekend series. I don't know who scheduled this. Good for Alabama A&M. Shame on you, Louisville. But my future national champions, Louisville Cardinals, put up a 32 spot against Alabama A&M.
That's all?
Dude, 28 hits, 32 runs. They scored 14 runs in the 7th and 8th innings combined. So 10 in the 7th.
Dude, why didn't they play a 7-inning game?
Dude, Alabama A&M wants the smoke, man. I'm looking at this box.
Dude, they got smoked out. What do you mean they're not going to be able to play tomorrow?
All right. So the first thing I do is whenever I check these like giant blowouts, I see if there's like a player on the team who scored all the runs that didn't get a hit. Like in the starting lineup, didn't get a hit. We had Jake Snyder, left fielder for Louisville, hitting 2-hole, went 0 for 3 today, and then gets pinch hit for.
Yeah,
and so that's bad.
Didn't get a hit in a 32-run game. That sucks.
We also had a 5 for 6 with 8 RBIs. I think I had 8 RBIs my whole senior year.
That's a decent day at the office.
A decent day at the office. I'm going to read off the doubles. We had Lucas Dunn with a double. Ethan Stringer, Tyler Fitzgerald had 2. Zach Britton had 1. They had 3 doubles. Alex Beneles had 2. Ben Metzinger 1. Like 2 triples, a homer. Like, oh my gosh, dude! Just this is my favorite stat of the whole game. Though.
Okay, let's hear it.
Michael Hovermill went 3 1/3.
Who?
Michael Hovermill went 3 1/3, 14 hits, 18 runs.
That's not real.
7 walks, 0 strikeouts.
Dude, he has to I'm not that good at math, but if he pitched 100 scoreless innings, what's his ERA still at?
If he pitched 100 in a row from right now, it'd be like a 1.68.
Good Lord, dude.
But still, 18 earned runs in 3 1/3. I think I could go out there and do it right now.
Dude.
Haven't pitched since like my junior year of high school.
It's honestly unreal how many runs and like how high their batting average could possibly be.
Yeah.
That's something that looks like what happened if you just put literally set a ball on a tee and said, "Let's scrimmage, boys." Like, how?
No, I really do think if you put a ball on a tee, they would have scored less runs. Because it's hard to generate power off a tee. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can hit deep fly balls. Like,
it's weird.
I don't know. We'll have to see it. But yeah, that was just our little golden ticket from tonight. A 32-1 game. Louisville beats Alabama A&M. But besides that, most of the other games pretty competitive. I also want to throw this out there to all of you LSU fans who keep cursing at us and yelling bad things at us, typing bad things at us. How about you? And the main reason is because we won't put them as a regional host.
Like, they're close. They're really close.
They're like 1 spot away, and they're like, these guys are a joke. They don't have us ranked.
The 1980s don't influence the 2019 regional. Like, sorry, go to a different outlet if you want the 80s to be impacted today. Like, it ain't happening.
I can't believe these guys don't have us as a regional host. Like,
close the yearbook.
These guys aren't real. Well, you know what? Beat Alabama on a Friday night, and then we might host you. But right now, you lost 6-1 to Alabama. LSU, get your facts straight. You're not going to host if you can't beat Alabama, the worst team in the SEC, on a Friday night. Just not happening. Sorry.
Not calling Baton Rouge tonight. It ain't happening.
But a team that will be hosting, most likely, Georgia Tech, takes care of Clemson 8-7 today.
What is up with the Clemson the Tigres?
Clemson is all the way down. Just absolutely.
The cat is out of the bag. The air is out of the balloon. Whatever you like to say. Clemson is free. Is that 9 in a row they've lost, or do they pick up a midweek?
At least.
God.
NC State, a team that we predicted to fall off pretty quickly, has thus fallen off rather quickly. They lose to Notre Dame 5-4 today.
They lost to Notre Dame?
Yeah. Dude, everything that we've said that might happen, like NC State falling off, Clemson falling off, like all these schools that were like, yeah, we're not going to get too high on them. Like they're falling off. So we're a little ahead of the curve there. But I will say that a big game from today was Mississippi State hosting Georgia. Ton of rowdy fans, and I thought Georgia was going to walk in there and kind of stun the place. It turns out that their best pitcher, Emerson Hancock, decides he wants to play around and say, "Oh, my arm hurts. I'm not going to pitch, at the nicest facility he'll ever pitch at." And they get smoked.
Don't be salty because you're going to fall in the weekend series now.
I picked the weekend series thinking Emerson Hancock was throwing Friday night. He wasn't. They lose 19-3. Not even close.
You know what? This is a subtle plug for ourselves because you know what we're going to do sooner rather than later? We've been speaking with multiple SIDs all season long, sports information directors for those not, what's the word I'm looking for? Acronymically inclined at home. Yes, that's a new word, acronymically. It's an adverb, so I got to use it. But we're going to be reaching out to SIDs. And we'll be able to get some injury news with all that type of stuff by staying in the loop with those guys, introducing ourselves. We'll probably be doing that in the future because we need to know this stuff, man. This is the real deal. Like, people want to know what's going on. Just how you check ESPN and you get updates, Bleacher Report, Dress of Verlander, scratch from tonight's start. So that's something we'll probably be doing sooner rather than later, but there's a lot of stuff going on for us. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we're a 3-man crew right now, holding it down. So eventually we'll be big enough and we'll grow and have all that stuff. I guess we'll see. But anyways, more scores from today. Miami looks good against Virginia Tech. They win 4-3. Our boys in Indiana lose 7-3 to Minnesota. So not what they were looking for. Home field. We have them ranked pretty high, like 21, somewhere in there, 20-21 maybe. They lose 7-3 today. Not the end of the world, but they do need to win probably the next two, in my opinion, to stay ranked. Arkansas and Tennessee was a really fun game to watch.
Yes, sir.
Arkansas wins 11-9. Tennessee's still looking pretty solid, though. I will give them that. Like they are much better than they get credit for. Yeah. They took Arkansas pretty much to the last inning.
I'm high on Tennessee, man.
I am too, and I think Arkansas, when they put it all together, is probably the most talented team in the SEC. Yeah. They've looked really good lately. So that's a series I'm looking forward to the rest of the weekend. Moving to the Big 12 play, we had, 3 really big series that I want to talk about. We have Texas Tech looking like the Texas Tech we thought we would see all year, winning 12-4.
They are who we thought they were.
They are who we thought they were.
We let them off the hook.
So 12-4, they beat Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's bats finally cooled off after 80 runs in 6 games or something like that. So that's a big win for Texas Tech. They're looking for a first place in the Big 12 this year, potentially a regional host. They need that. They've hosted one the last 4 or 5 years. Been to Omaha 2 of the last 3 years. And then we had Baylor and TCU, kind of a battle between teams that I guess we've had. I don't know. They're just both kind of
two of the more frustrating teams.
Yeah, they've both just been really up and down this year. We were really high on Baylor early in the year, and then they sucked, and then we kind of thought they sucked, and then they started being good again. And then TCU were like, this team's great, and then they're like, oh wait, this team is actually not good. So Baylor beats them 6-3 on the road, and TCU looks pretty much done. And it's going to be funny because TCU and Texas are actually both looking at a potential last place for the Big 12 because Texas
battle it out, boys.
Texas loses again today to a rather good West Virginia team, a very scary West Virginia team, a team you don't want to see in the regional. West Virginia.
All right. I am making part of an executive decision. I'm diving into West Virginia deeply at the end of this weekend. We will know everything there is to know about West Virginia. I'm marking it right now.
Do it.
I can't have it anymore. I gotta know.
They're only a game and a half out of first place in the Big 12. And then this is probably the best stat of the day. And get your horns down ready because this stat will make you happy. Texas is sitting 5-10. 5-10 in the Big 9. And they are tied for last place. Tied for last place in basically May. It is basically May, and they are tied
72 hours away.
Yeah. They are tied with Kansas. The Fighting Jayhawks are 5-10 also in the Big 12. And Texas is 5 games out from first place with like 9 to play. So all you Texas fans out there, maybe this isn't your year. Keep saying Texas is back. I'm not convinced. I mean, Texas, on the other hand, it would not surprise me one bit if they like run through the Big 12 tournament and like don't lose for a month. But right now, not good. Scoring only 2 runs at home on a Friday night, not good. So that's the Big 12 wrap up. One of the I guess non-Power 5 conferences we're looking at right now is the American. There was one big series that caught my eye. East Carolina absolutely takes down Tulane 14-0. They're lucky that it could have easily been more too.
Tulane screwed because Jake hasn't even pitched yet.
Yeah, well, Jake's not even the best pitcher. Jake Kuchman is not the best pitcher on that team. Jake Agnos, whatever.
Dude, hold on. I got to give a shout out to all the nerds that listen to this podcast, like myself. He's got like a name of like some famous like evil Star Wars video game character. So I'm not surprised he's really good. Yeah, it's like some Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. That is a throwback, a callback to that game. I like the Xbox. So,
all right. Well, that's interesting.
Awesome,
you talked something there. But Agnos went 5 innings, 2 hits, 9 Ks, and he could have easily went way more. But the score at the time was like, I don't know, like 10-0 when he got out of the game. East Carolina was just putting on a home run clinic. They hit 5, I think, today, 4 or 5. So the Pirates definitely in serious contention to host a regional. It's basically theirs to lose. And speaking of losing, we had UC Santa Barbara finally lose.
Yeah.
After like, I don't know, a month and a half, it felt like. They lose to UC Riverside 9-4. So they need to bounce back. They need to bounce back and win 2 games this weekend to at least have a successful weekend. And then I guess the last 4 games I want to touch on are the Pac-12 that just finished wrapping up. We had Oregon State destroying Washington State, including a Adley Rutschman like 500-foot homer over the railroad tracks in right field. It was ridiculous. UCLA shuts out Utah 5-0. And our boys at Arizona State, another team we predicted to drop off, come conference play, lose 6-10 to Washington. So the Bash Bros, I think, ended up actually playing pretty decent today, but the pitching staff could not stop the powerful offense of Washington. So, yeah, that pretty much wraps up the scores.
The day that was Friday night around the country, man.
Yeah, Friday night was fun. A lot of ranked matchups.
So now we need to talk about and go over briefly the beautiful 10-game series challenge.
Yeah, we had another lopsided day. It's not the whole weekend, but James went, I think, 5-0. It was like 4-0, and there's still one game being played that you were winning. And I went 2-3. So I got a lot of ground to make up here.
Dude, it's starting to be like September call-up time for me. I might bring up some lifetime AAA guys and let them pick some games next week. It's the dog days for you right now, man.
Dude, I'm losing everything.
So let's take a quick. Let's say there's 4 weeks left. So there's 4 weeks left. There's going to be 5 series apiece. So there's 20 series left, and you're down 5.5. So you're not out of the water. You're not drowned. You
have to do your part. You have to start losing. That's number one. If you don't start losing, like I can't make up ground. So,
but
it's kind of like golf. It's kind of like golf because you have to start bogeying and I got to start birdieing. Like that's the only way I'm catching up. So, yeah.
Well, we both know that this is just a regular season. We're really waiting for the playoffs and the big dance predictions. That is the championship.
We really got to do like a.
We're doing it.
Like you know how there's like a March Madness bracket, everybody fills it out.
Yeah, we're doing it.
We got to do. Oh, we are doing it. Okay, cool. That'll be nice. And then so the last thing we want to do before we move on to the interview is a little would you rather and some trivia. Since Fridays are our personality days, we get to show a little bit about who we really are.
Yeah, I've got some questions for you.
Questions or would you rathers?
Well, first, you know what? I was watching some Big Ten baseball today. I was watching Illinois play Nebraska. What's that?
I said I'm sorry.
No, it was good. It was good.
I watched like MEAC baseball like Thursday, so
I think we have seen our fair share of mid-major action in the day. So I have a question for you. So
I have an answer for you.
There's this young fella for Illinois, Jack Yellowitz or Yakowitz or something with a wits.
I like Yakowitz. Let's go with that.
We'll go with that. He's an outfielder, but he wasn't wearing his jersey today. And so this will be a fun little segment. He was not wearing his jersey today. Okay. He was wearing number 22, the Sunday starting pitcher's jersey.
So he forgot his jersey.
I want you to tell me why. And I'm going to give you some options.
Oh, wait, you know the answer?
I know the answer. This is our trivia. This is a surprise trivia.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you A, B, or C. A, the manager left his jersey because they're on the road. So the manager left his jersey at home. That's option A. Option B is it got ruined during pregame, some malfunction, and he had to change.
Okay.
Option C, it was lost by a third party, so no one with the team. And then the fourth option, option D, is Jack Yakowitz left his jersey at home. He didn't bring it. So what do you think happened? So you got left jersey at home, lost by a third party, pregame malfunction, or a manager left it at home.
I really hope it's pregame malfunction, but I'm going to say he left it at home because I've done that before.
Right, dude. I actually have a story about that too. Our first trip of my junior year to East Carolina, I was roomed with a freshman. I counted all the things he left home. It was 13. He left 13 items at home that he's supposed to bring on the itinerary.
No, I did the same thing my first trip at UT Martin. Literally, I left everything. I think I've told it on this podcast.
It's just too much. It's just
you get overwhelmed. It's crazy. But
it never happened. But the correct answer is that a third party lost his jersey. So the kid from Illinois, United Airlines lost his bag. He doesn't have his jersey, didn't have his hat, didn't have his glove, none of it. United Airlines with a big fat L right here for Illinois baseball. And I didn't get to hear like if it was only him, or if it was like it couldn't have been the whole team because they were playing. But
could you imagine if it was the whole team? So what would have happened?
Like where are the gloves? Like where are the bats? Where are the gloves? Where are the jerseys? About those.
That's bad. Bad on United Airlines.
That's Nebraska. What happened? Nebraska would leave their gloves on the field for the other guys. They would practice in practice jerseys that maybe they had or something, and they'd play the game in practice jerseys, and they have no baseball hats. We just call it a game.
That would be interesting. So basically what you're telling me is United Airlines should sponsor us and pay us $1,000 a second for us not to roast them, right?
That's at least $1,000 a second.
Because we definitely have Illinois' back. We ride with the Illinois Illini.
Yeah, but so, I wanted to bring that segment up because it's something that happens like almost every team, almost every weekend has one knucklehead who does something wrong. like that. I mean,
Yeah.
this guy, Jack didn't do anything wrong, but most of the time, like someone forgets a jersey or a hat.
No, listen to this. This actually, my brother told me this today.
Okay.
So, brother's manager for Southern Miss. They
Mhm.
traveled to Middle Tennessee. I think he said 8 guys forgot their belt, and they bring
What?
extras. Like they have an extras bag, right? But they
Yeah.
only have like 3 or 4 in there, like for belts that break or people that forget them, whatever. So he actually had to take an Uber to a Dick's Sporting Goods in Tennessee to buy more belts to bring back to the hotel. Like that was his manager duty.
That's wild.
Like it happens all the time. Like people forget stuff. I mean,
It's just part of it, man.
part of it, man.
Bringing some little weird intricacies into college baseball that you just don't really see on television. But Ben, I've got a would you rather for you now, if that's okay
Right.
with you.
Yeah.
So a little would you rather segment. I thought about this the other day. I was last night. I was watching A&M and Ole Miss. And I was watching just a ton of baseball games and classic. Watching the games with my old man with Bill, and someone really gets a hold of one, hits it right back to the pitcher, and Bill goes, "Wow, he got a hold of that one." And classic Bill, and it made me thinking: would you rather get jammed or hit one off the cap? Because this kid hits one right off the end of the bat, goes right back to the pitcher. Would you rather get jammed or hit it off the cap? They both suck. So what would you rather do?
I can honestly say that I spent a majority of my career hitting balls off the end of the bat, like trying to pull them, because I was just a big pull guy, and it never felt good to get jammed. So I'm gonna stick with like what I know, and what I know is like being early on a changeup and capping it to like the second baseman. So I'm pretty good with that. Let's go with cap. What about you?
I agree with the cap because if you get capped, you can at least say like, at least I had a chance to show up. Like at least I didn't.
Yeah,
At least
I didn't get beat.
at least I didn't get beat. Like if you get jammed, like dude, you got beat, son.
Dude,
Like
I'll tell you something that was like, in my opinion, worse than striking out was like getting beat on a fastball, getting jammed, and like watching the little bloop pop up go like left side foul territory, and like the catcher and the third baseman like have to call each other off to get this foul. Like, and you just stand there in the box thinking like, can't run to first because if it drops, it's a foul ball, and you just sit there and watch it go straight up and then right into the glove, and then you turn around and go to the dugout. Like that to me was worse than striking out.
oh
Because
yeah,
at least a strikeout, you're like, dang, just missed that one. Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, I put a good swing on it, just missed it. Like that one's like, dude, that pitcher just got up in you, in your kitchen, and
Fouling out and fouling out in the infield and foul territory, the worst.
yeah, the worst.
Absolute worst. So that's my would you rather segment. It made me think about all those times that you mentioned. I was like, oh man, which one is worse? Because these both suck.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to think of a quick would you rather for you. Would you rather have? Ooh, this isn't like really a would you rather, but so if you're playing a game at like 7 o'clock, would you rather eat a big meal before the game or after the game? Like, would you rather have a big lunch and small dinner, or
after the game? 100% after the
really?
game. I just it's a good way to like put to bed the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
And plus if you eat before the game, I always got like groggy, because you eat some carbs and it makes you want to go to sleep, and you gotta like be at the game and just
I was actually the opposite. Like I loved like eating like a big lunch at like noon, going to the field at like 3 or 4, and after the game I was like never hungry. Like I was just like
yeah.
oh.
I think it's because after the game you kind of have this adrenaline rush and your body's just like, I don't need food. It's not important.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really need food. I just want to go to bed. So
yeah.
I think I would rather eat a big lunch, like a nice like